What is going on, fellas? Welcome back to another beautiful day over here on the channel. As you may know, Facebook Marketplace is getting quite risky these days, so I think it's worth checking out and investigating some used skiff prices at our local dealerships around here. One of the dealerships I went to a couple months back and checked out some skiffs. It's actually right across the street from here. I just drove by to see if they were open before I started this trek, but I see a couple of the skiffs still there, so maybe they'll work out a deal or something. I'll check to see if any of those prices got dropped. But also, I just want to check out some skiffs, man. I've been looking at the same skiff for so long that I forget what these other skiffs are all about. So I want to check them out. I want to look around for some inspiration. Just some random skiff inspiration is good for the soul. It feels absolutely beautiful outside. Today's Halloween. And I guess you just couldn't ask for better conditions to go skiff hunting, if that makes sense. I guess once I start looking at the prices over there, I'll jump into some of the prices that I've sold skiffs for in the past like couple of months, and we'll see how they compare. Because every time I go to a dealership or a consignment place, it's drastically different than the street value of the same exact boat. Probably why most of these skiffs are still laying around at the dealerships that they're at. But yeah, first stop is just a consignment shop across the street from the Mayport boat ramp. They actually have probably what I would say the most proper skiffs for sale in town. So it's always fun to check that out. And then we're going to go over to a more mainstream dealership and check out a Yellowfin. I believe a Yellowfin 21. I've had my eye on it for a little while now, so I feel like it's worth going and checking it out, seeing how much it is, maybe set our sights on something like that here in the near future. But I just want to get my hands on some skiffs, man. I woke up this morning itching for something like that. And yeah, we're going to get this thing rolling. Dude, I could just stand right here for hours. It's beautiful. I got the wife and the baby with me. We're going to make a day out of this, cruise around from spot to spot, look at skiffs, get some lunch, whatever. So appreciate you guys for tagging along. Let's get into spot number one. Wife's Jeep that we fixed with a cheap bottle of head gasket sealer. Brother, she's holding up. Beautiful vehicle. We've been driving miles and miles and miles. So I'd say that head gasket sealer that I used a couple videos back, good stuff. Good stuff. At least for now, saved me from a bunch of labor hours under the hood of this thing. But dude, a beauty. I love driving this thing around. She does too. All right, pulled up to spot number one. I'm gonna check the list over here, see what's still here before we go for the walkthrough and see if the prices were adjusted at all. I might say it's not like these boats have to fly off the shelf for places like this to stay in business. They really only need to sell, one or two boats every once in a while. The margins are so high. Looks like we got a new Mitzi skiff in here that was not here last time. That'll be worth checking out. Price $35,500. $35,500. It looks sweet though. A little drop-in tower on there. That Hughes 20 light tackle looks to still be here. Where's that one? I see it over there, but I don't see it on the list. It's actually like a proper skiff, I would say. Over here in the corner, it's actually really similar to the crunchy skiff we're working on right now. That's why I wanted to take another look at it to see what the price was, but I don't actually. Oh, it's right here, I guess. Yeah, Merton 18 flats skiff. I believe that's the one over there. It looks like a different color right here, but $15,500 for a 2015 Suzuki 25. I'll go over there and look at that in a second. If you remember, the thumbnail was the Baycraft of the last video at this spot. $18,500. I believe that's the same price. Obviously, you can talk to the guy here. His name is Guy. Great guy. But you can talk to him to talk to the owners of the boat, see if they'll drop down on the price at all. But I'm interested in just looking at that Mitzi skiff just because of that drop-in tower is pretty sweet. And then I want to look back at this Merton, if that's the same one that was here last time. If you remember that one skiff that had the casting platform on the front with like the metal grate, that was see, dude, honestly, the price is gonna get me going back to getting risky on Facebook Marketplace. Even this I guess it's a 2021 Skeeter. It looks a little, I don't know, the design looks more dated, but $33,500. This Hughes 16 Redfisher, $42K. But yeah, oh, I mean, there's a Ginu, got a 15 Classic for $5,500, 1984. A 23 Mercury 99, worth checking out, I suppose. It's a, you know, turnkey Ginu, then I'd say it's probably worth checking it out. And then they have some bigger boats. They got an Everglades 74 bands for that one. 2024 Yamaha 300. Well, I guess I'm gonna go just look through the lot, see what's going on. You can see up front and center, look like it just got a wash, is that Baycraft. This one really piqued my interest the last time we were here, but this skiff over here looks to be actually completely different than the last one. Do you remember that one? The one that had the metal grate casting platform? That's the one that really piqued my attention. But this is a pretty sweet design, I would say. Riptide up front, 55. Pretty sweet design. Is this fixed into place? No, probably move that up. Casting platform up front. Trailer's sweet. This spike looks to be somewhat homemade, I would say, with a like a wakeboard type strap. Polling platform sick. I mean, pretty sweet. This would get you in some skinny water, let me tell you. Push pole sweet. A little bit of exposed glass down here. Plug for the trolling motor. That's the same plug that I just put on the Crunchy Skiff. And dude, actually, these mounts right here are the ones that I've been telling you to get. These mounts that are they're for like your stern light. They sell these little mounts at Walmart for $4.99, and I've always used them for the spikes. This is the first time I've ever seen somebody else use it as well, so that's pretty sweet. This grab bar is definitely something that I need to put on the Crunchy Skiff. It's in dire needs of a grab bar. I see that Ginu back there. Another honorable mention for the Baycraft. Looks like she's got some water hooked up to her, probably worked out some cobwebs. Dude, whoa. This Chaos Boatworks, I thought this was the Mitzi. It's not. Look at this design. This design is crazy. Got the 2 smoker on the back, 90. This is a sweet rig. I did not look at this one over on the list. I'm gonna have to go double check to see how much it is. I guarantee it's more than 30 bands though. I guarantee it. Sweet seat right here. It has a very amphibious looking shape to it. Like, can you see how it kind of bows out? That's sweet. It's almost disrespectful to put the tiller Minn Kota with the ratchet strap on here. I feel like that kind of devalues the old girl. Let me go see how much the Chaos is, because this is sweet. I'm actually excited now, happy that I came in here, because I've never seen a boat like this. Big old prop on the girl, 4-blader. Dude, this is sick. I do still think that for these waterways around here, this shape and setup and everything is absolutely perfect for these particular waters, even down south for sure. Let's see if that Chaos boat works. Boat is over here. I don't see it. It might be a new arrival. See, I thought it was that Mitzi, but it's not. I've personally never heard of Chaos. I'm now glad I did. This boat is sweet. I can only imagine if that Mitzi is 35.5. I can only imagine that it's 30 plus. I might have to ask Guy, see what the price is on it. Dude, look at the lines on it from here. That's so sick. These two skiffs alone, new skiffs on the block, are both worth my time. This particular one, I feel it's a little steep priced. I feel like the street value on something like that would be a little bit lower. Sweet Scout right here. These are super sick. This is just a 201, but it's so much boat for a 20. And the 24s of like the same model, but the 24-foot version, that is like a lot of boat for a 24. All right, cruising through. I see that Ginu back here. I see a very interesting trolling motor mount. What was this one? 5,500. I definitely feel a little steep as well, but they both have to make their money here. The owner of the spot and the owner of the boat, they both have to make a couple bucks. But we got the Minn Kota on the piece of wood. I mean, it'll work. She's on there. Might have to keep that in mind. Oh, and they have the accessory area. To be honest, if the wood was painted black, this would fly for me, honestly. I mean, it looks all right. Got the spike in there, battery up front with the on-off switch, paddle, tiller extension. This is the one with the joint on it, which is not exactly my favorite setup. Got the rod holders back. This is that Mercury 9.9. I've actually had so many of this particular Mercury 9.9, the newer models. I don't know why, but not my favorite motor. I've had random weird issues. I've had more random weird issues with this newer Mercury 9.9 than I have with any other motor. But that could just be my particular situation. Big old Dusky, that'll get you off to the drop. What's her name? I can't read the name. It is what it is. Dusky's sweet. Big Suzuki 150. Dude, Suzuki 150 about as tall as your boy. It's a beefy motor right there. Trailer right here. Probably would have bought this yesterday. I mean, this is basically the same size as the motor that I had. Well, okay, hold on. For some reason, I didn't even check out the on-the-fly jack plate. That is a huge upsell, in my opinion. Beefed up the transom quite a bit. I mean, and you have your spot for another seat back here. Get to fishing. This is a pretty sweet setup for 5,500. It almost looks like it was reinforced, maybe with some type of like gator glide, or I can't really say, honestly. It could be a new sheet of glass, and then they gel coated over it. Trailer's all right. You get away with those jet ski trailers pretty easily. With Ginus, the tires very small. That's funny, but I mean, it's all right. The webbing in here is pretty yep. All right. I mean, those are some sweet skiffs. I didn't put my eyes on the Mitzi. Wherever, I wonder where that's hiding. I'm just cruising at this point. Key West 15 over here. Explorer, I would say. Actually, a really sweet example of a Key West 15. JTB Slayer. Big old gas tank in the back. Suzuki 70. This is like, if you took your Key West 15 and you moved the console from the side to the center, then we get along very well. This is actually a really sweet example. I'll have to go check the price on this. I didn't notice that either. Trim tabs, fish ruler. This is something I can get behind. I stopped liking these 15s. They have somewhat of a dorky shape to them. I had a 15 with a 75 Yamaha on the back, and that thing flew like a race boat, dude. And it held up in big water more so than any other boat of this size. I can't recommend a Key West 15 enough for somebody that's just getting into boating, or if you have been in boating but you've kind of been fishing backwaters and you're looking to get out to some deeper water on a budget. Key West 15 is a really, really good option for that. I don't know if it's the hull shape or if it's how it's made or what, that it can just hold a bigger motor so you can have a little more control. But yeah, this is a sweet example of a Key West 15. Power drive up front, 70, 24 volt. Are these power drive? Yeah, 24 volt. Big Tidewater right here. Sick. But we're looking at skiffs, son. I don't see the Mitzi. Maybe somebody's out on a sea trial. Shout out one time for the Scouts. Scouts are such classy boats. I feel like in my older years, when I retire, I'm probably gonna have a classy looking Scout, something like that. All right, so we didn't get to put our eyes on the Mitzi, but we got to look at some other cool stuff. I figure now we move on to spot number 2. I'm serious, Guy is such a good guy. He walked out when I was leaving. He brought me a price sheet, and we got the chit chat. And the Mitzi is in the showroom, so I'm about to look at the Mitzi right now. But he stopped, and I asked him about the Chaos to see if the price was on this sheet for the Chaos, and he said no. He's actually a really good guy over here, and he said out of 100 boats or so that people bring to him, he maybe takes on and puts up for sale 2 or 3 of them. He's very particular, and this one looked good at first. He said he really wanted it to work out, but he had his mechanic go through it today, and he just went like this, and I was like, no, what's going on? He said there's water in the cylinders, and there's some other problems going on. He said that he wasn't really happy with this situation, but he wishes he could sell it, but he's not even going to list it. He's not even going to entertain it because of some things that he found. But the Mitzi skiff, he said, in the showroom, whoa, keys to the kingdom. This Mitzi skiff, all right, okay, makes a lot more sense now. 35.5 is what it was at. Just seeing it, just that thumbnail picture on that board over there is one thing, but coming over here and looking at it in person definitely makes a lot more sense. Definitely makes a lot more sense. Wow. The like custom sea deck up top. The cooler with the seat on it, I feel like it leaves a little more to be desired. But it is what it is. Starting to yellow a little bit, but that's no big deal. www.bigboysplaytoys.com. Boater's Choice since 1993. Big Boys Play Toys up there. That's sick. All right. I'm tracking. We got the Riptide up here with the self-deploy. I've been wanting to dabble in a self-deploy unit here. Breakaway trailer, that's sick. Standard, definitely necessary. That way you can fit a sweet boat like that, and like a 10 by 20 or something at your apartment complex. These I find are a huge upsell for sure. Dang. Okay. All right, she's sweet. This custom like drop-in tower right here, so you can sit and lean on the polling platform. That's very sweet. Very sweet. Let's check out a couple of these hatches. Beautiful. I wonder if they well, for sure come through with detailers. I wonder if they have a couple detailers on the payroll. Some carpet on the inside. This boat is really sick. The Honda 50 looks brand new. Dude, I would eat dinner off of this thing right here. Big Boys Play Toys, East Palatka. This boat is sweet. Honorable mention over here, Hughes Redfisher 16, Yamaha Show 115. All right, dude, I'm in fantasy land over here. These boats are gnarly. Gnarly. I mean, they're just like really good examples of these things. The Mitzi Skiff is sweet though, dude. That's really all the real estate up front provided because of how they have this custom half tower, like drop-in tower back here. The real estate right there, my mouth is watering. Double blades on the back. I don't know how I feel necessarily about the Honda 50. I almost wish it had like bare minimum 70. Spinning 35.5. I'd hope to just have a little more power out of it, but it is what it is. Big old trim tabs back here. That setup for these power pole blades is so sick, dude. Everything is so sick. I actually really like the color combo with the Honda 50. Sometimes the Honda, like the silver's an eyesore, but I feel in this particular case, it works. It works, dude. My mouth is watering. I need to hop out of here before I, dude, let me case the joint. That's sick though. The Mitzi was fun to look at, let me tell you. Very fun to look at. Okay, I just actually went through the list again, and I don't see a price for that Key West 15. So it might be the same scenario as that Chaos was. It might just be being checked out, or they might not like it. I don't know, but I was gonna say the Key West was probably the best deal, but right now, I guess, dude, I might have to go for the 1984 Ginu, the classic. It's really the only thing that makes sense budget-wise. Like you probably won't lose too much money on it whenever you leave that place. But I was really hopeful for the Key West. Maybe he'll post it in the next couple of days. All right, lunch was fantastic. Dockside seafood here in Jacksonville is immaculate. But now, time for the main event. This Yellowfin 21. Dude, this thing is beautiful. It's a 2026, brand new. Hasn't been in the water yet. Brand new. I'll tell you the price closer towards the end. So I want you to start to try and build a price in your mind of what you think it is. But I just want to look around at some features, and there is one thing that's quite surprising that I'm excited to show you guys. So you see this front hatch? I actually really wish I put one of these front hatches on the Jones Brothers, because if you remember, that center console was very flat in the front, as far as boring. I would say it was really boring in the front, and a hatch like that actually would make sense as well to access the electronics on the back end. The electronics that we eventually landed on, the Simrad Go 9, but it just makes sense. And I wish I put one of those on the Jones Brothers now in hindsight, but hindsight's 2020. Single axle trailer. Again, this is a 21 footer. Does not have a trolling motor nor a mount for the trolling motor. I did a little bit of research on this unit before I came to look at it, and I'm just gonna keep letting you develop that number in your mind, because to be honest, I was a bit naive. I've looked at this boat briefly before, and for certain reasons my guess was 90,000. So I guess you'll see soon if that was close or not, but I'll keep cruising around. Big Yamaha on the back. The interior is beautiful. No sea decking. It's all non-skid. Lean post, beautiful. Rear seating, beautiful. Big Yamaha 200, not the show or anything. Back here we got a Bob's Machine jack plate. The whole entire boat is absolutely stunning. It's beautiful. Live wells in the back. It's just, I guess it's all you'd want. My father-in-law has a Yellowfin 24, and it's a beautiful riding boat. Just the shape. He has a Mercury 400 Racing on the back. It's the fastest boat I've ever been on. Is that a cup holder in the middle? I can't see. I don't want to step up on here just yet. But dude, okay. This is where things get a little interesting to me. I already showed you that there's no trolling motor, okay? But up here, there's no electronics either. And let me tell you, because I'm up here, I'm checking out the electronics, the plastic wrap still on the windshield, insane. Okay, no electronics. Dude, I got beefed on for not having electronics on the Jones Brothers, but I was doing it on purpose to give the new owner the opportunity to customize it the way he would want it. And dude, I'm telling you, I got beefed on. I got beefed on really bad, actually. So as you can see, there's boats out here fresh off the line on the lot, no electronics, probably for the same reason. But this layout is actually the exact same pretty much of the Yellowfin 24, and his is a 2008 hull. So it's cool that they kind of maintain that shape. But yeah, I'm not gonna put the flops on the deck just to respect it. But it's a beauty. But no electronics. You have your Yamaha gauges down here. You have them down there, but nothing up top. No Garmin, Simrad, nothing. No speakers. You do have an onboard charger, it looks like. Okay, so onboard charger looks to be the extent of the accessories, which is actually surprising considering the price. You have your ports, a couple hatches, gas tank under the center console. It's a beautiful looking boat. It's absolutely just, what would you say, the base. So you can completely customize it. I would assume, if I had the money to spend on this boat, I would probably go power pole, move up front with the trolling motor. I would probably go Samrad Electronics, Fusion, speakers, you know, the high-end electronics and accessories. But I mean, you can tell that these are made really well. Beautiful boats. All right, I'll tell you how much it costs now. All right, lock in your answer, because I was at 90. The reason that I was at 90, as you can tell, is because it's completely based out. There's no electronics, there's nothing on it. It's completely base. And considering it's just a Yamaha 200, not even a Yamaha show, 119,000. So I mean, not crazy for a 2026 brand new, hasn't touched water, but I don't know, these days I just want a little more out of it, I guess. Am I being greedy? I don't know. But 119,800 something, I believe. So about, you know, rounded up 120. 120 bands for the Yellowfin 21. It's honestly not insane, considering, you know, the electronics is only going to be several $1,000s. You know, you'll go from 120 to 130, I would say, to get it to where you want it. And I'm sure they do all of that here. They'll give you a bunch of options probably, but yeah, 120. I actually just figured that out whenever we were eating. I was doing my research, and a little steep, but it is what it is. I kind of just wanted to show you that they really are out here selling boats with no electronics to let you customize, because like I said, brother, I was getting beefed on. But that's gonna do it. Just check out some skiffs today, look at some boats. In the outro, I'll talk about numbers on my end, some prices that I sold my own skiffs for, just for comparison. But for now, I appreciate you hanging out. Just a chill day, chill Friday, chill Halloween. Didn't want to get too crazy. Obviously, the best boat that I feel I saw today was the one in the parking lot at Dockside. So it is what it is. I appreciate you for hanging out, tagging along. If you ever want to see the sweetest boats in your area, for some reason, just go to any like maintenance bay at your local marinas and stuff. That's where all the sweet boats are, because I spot them and I walk up and I say, man, is this for sale? And they say, no, this one's just in service. So it is what it is. Appreciate the chill. It's all about the hang, man. And we just hung out today. So hopefully we hang out tomorrow too. I'll be here at the same time. Appreciate it. Love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. All right, so I would say the cheapest boat we saw today was the Ginu. The Ginu 15 Classic with the Mercury 9.9. That was listed at $5,500. I'm sure there's a little bit of wiggle room in there. But I mean, it had the 2x6 trolling motor mount. So I mean, it wasn't exactly dressed up to the nines. It also was an 80s model, so a bit older, definitely refurbished. But it was $5,500. Everything, like, other than that, I didn't even think that any of the boats we looked at today were, like, even in the realm of making sense financially. I guess if you're looking for a higher caliber boat, the Mitzi Skiff would make sense. You could probably get it for 30, I would say, maybe 29 if you talk a good game. And I feel like that'd be pretty sweet for the caliber of boat it is. 29 probably makes sense. But even the street value on a Mitzi Skiff of that caliber is still cheaper on Facebook Marketplace, on Craigslist, on Boat Trader. Well, Boat Trader is the most expensive platform that there is if you're looking for boats. But the Ginu, regardless, was the cheapest boat out there, $5,500. And I mean, that's about what I've sold my Ginus for. Actually less. I think the most expensive Ginu I ever sold was like $5,000, but it was fully decked out. It was fully decked out, casting platform, brand new 15 horse on the back, push pole, spikes, trolling motor, like an actual nice iPilot up front, and I sold that one for $5,000. And it wasn't an easy sale either, to be honest. And that was absolutely the best Gnu that I've ever owned. Other Gnus, you know, I usually buy them around 2,500 to 3,000 and fish them for a little bit, upgrade here and there, maybe throw a lithium battery on there, and then try and sell it for like 4,000. And usually take less, probably like 38. That's usually standard for the Gnus. As far as skiffs, Carolina skiffs, I have somehow managed to sell Carolina skiffs for a little bit more than that base market value out there. I'm not sure how that has happened over the past couple of years, but even like Real Cranky, I believe I sold for 7,500, I believe, and that had a 25 tiller on the back, so that was rather surprising. It had nothing to do with the YouTube channel or anything. It was purely organic Facebook Marketplace. It was sweet though, because it had the 112 Minn Kota up front and big lithium batteries. So that was pretty sweet, like a big 36 volt lithium battery with a big charger on it. That particular boat was really decked out, but $7,500 for a very decked out boat, and then compared to the like dealership, who knows how much they would have tried to sell something like that for, but it'd be highway robbery to sell it for anything more than 7 or 75. The Baycraft that I sold, I believe I sold it for like 7, which again, I mean, that boat was decked out also with a bunch of new electronics and, you know, Simrad Go 9 and a Yamaha 60, like everything was sweet on that boat. I sold it for 7. Probably at the dealership they'd probably list it like above 10. It makes no sense. It's crazy. What else have I sold? Oh, the Jones Brothers. I sold the Jones Brothers for 13, which I think was a really good deal. It was close to base as far as electronics. There were no speakers on it, but there was a Simrad Go 9 hooked up to a nice brand new lithium battery. That 115 on the back was money, dude. That 115 on the back was so nice. Anywhere other than here, Jacksonville, Florida, those Jones Brothers were selling for high 20s. It made no sense. But I actually liked the end result of the Jones Brothers that I built more so than a classic Jones Brothers. It has like a very chubby, short center console and seating arrangement rather than mine. It was very tall. The center console was tall, the lean post was tall. It almost felt like a half tower in that skiff. Nice trolling motor up front, hooked up to nice brand new batteries. I mean, that boat was sweet, and I sold that for 13. I don't believe I cleared any profit on it. I got a little crazy, you know, building that boat. We actually had to do a lot to it. But still, I feel like at any of like that consignment shop earlier, I feel like it would have been like 20, 18, 19, 20, something like that. But I mean, it's I got it for free, essentially, kinda. I had to put all that money into it, but I mean, I don't get it. With how the market is moving right now, I mean, clearly all the boats that I've seen at these dealerships are still here after some time, like through the season and everything. I don't know. I don't know why somebody would go the dealership route as opposed to cruising on Facebook Marketplace. Because, I mean, we're talking about, like, you'll pay less than half of what you would pay at a dealership. If you remember the last field trip we went on to the dealership in St. Augustine, that Action Craft was probably the best example of dealership versus Facebook Marketplace, in my opinion, because that Action Craft there was close to $30,000, I believe, and the Action Craft that I had was like arguably better as far as condition, like the nitty gritties, the little details. It seemed like it was in better condition. It had a Yamaha two-stroke as compared to the Evinrude two-stroke at that dealership, they were asking like, I believe it was close to 30,000, around that at least. And I sold mine for, I think, 11,000, maybe 11,500. So that's what I'm saying. Obviously you have a little more, what would you say, confidence buying something at a dealership as opposed to Facebook Marketplace. And there's situations like I got into the other day where things can get really, really, really risky, and you'll completely avoid that by going to a dealership, hopefully. So I mean, I get it. And stuff like this Yellowfin 26, you're not gonna find something like this on Facebook Marketplace not having touched water, unless it's a Yellowfin that somebody won in an offshore tournament and they didn't want it, so they're just selling it before it ever touches water. That's the only circumstance you'll get one of these on Facebook Marketplace at kind of a cutthroat price. But I mean, I don't know. I just had fun today checking out skiffs. Facebook Marketplace is for sure half the price. For a lot of the times, the same boat. But I mean, whatever. I'm just yapping at this point, talking numbers, talking skiffs, talking boats. Yeah, that is what. If you have any questions about skiffs that I've sold before or whatever, feel free to ask. Email is always in the description, or we can chat in the comment section. I always love chatting with you guys. But regardless, I'm just gonna leave it at that. Just a fun day out with the wife and the baby, checking out boats. I could talk boats all day, man. Pathfinder 2200 right up in my face. Yamaha VMAX. That used to be like the clutch setup back in the day. I've had one Pathfinder 2200 with the VMAX setup. It was a sweet setup. It was cool. It was sweet. I think I bought in at 19 and sold for 24.5. That was years ago though. I went on a little spree at one point with Pathfinders because around here, Jacksonville, Pathfinders are like gold. And I bought a couple, sold a couple to kind of snowball the funds to create some longevity in this industry, I guess. So, but now I'm having fun with the skiffs. A lot less risk on the table, and it's a fun time. It's a fun time. So, whatever. I appreciate you guys for hanging out, checking out some boats today, and I'll see you tomorrow. Enjoy Halloween. Stay safe out there. And yep, I'm yapping. Someone stop me. See you later. Bye.